Hi there. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings, Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025. How's everybody doing? Hi, Karen Phillips. How are you? Patrick Vilas was first, best part of my Wednesday at work. What do you do, Patrick? You may have told me before, but my mind is like a sieve. Unless it's something naughty, then I remember it. I can remember the naughty from many decades ago. We're talking 1964, Montreal. What can I tell you? It's just the way it is. Why pretend that that's not a true factor? I beg your pardon, Karen Phillips. I'm just a guy. Neo Neon is here saying hey, hey, as is M. Silva from the Lone Star State. Hello, everyone. Hockey 92.7 FM. How are you? Hockey. Good evening, Jack, and everyone. Brenda Noyce joins us. Hello, Jack and family. Tammy, which Tammy? Is it Tammy? Tammy. We have several Tammys. Like there's Tammy Tessie for one. Hi, Jack from Georgia. From Georgia. Nice to see you. Hey, Christari, how you feeling? That's the first thing I'm going to ask. You know that. Feel free to give me an update or not. It's up to you. Doug Barlow. Hello, Jack. Good evening. Hi, Doug. Welcome to you. Jimmy Samples. He gave us those nice isolated vocals. You could try to put them into a pre-recorded video. It's a copyrighted song, so I don't know. But I think it's Elvis. I think it's Elvis you sent me, Jimmy. I absolutely do. Give Jack a thumbs up, everybody. Yes, those likes are important, I guess. We've got 42 watching. I've lost a couple right there. It was 45. Hit the like button, please, if you can, and the notification bell. So when we pop on to pop off, I realize we haven't been doing a lot of that. You'll know about it. Tammy Griffin joins us along with Tammy with a Y. We got Tammy with a Y from Georgia and Tammy with an I. I'm glad you made it as well, Tammy with an I. Griffin. I just visited Dr. Griffin, my 60s dentist, in the cemetery just the other day. Every once in a while, I take a stroll or a drive down Lane. Memory Lane. And there's like 60 people in this St. Joseph Cemetery that I know. I didn't really count them to see if it's actually 60, but there's quite a few. And not too far from Dr. Griffin, who's in the back of the cemetery on the left, kind of in line with the church and the chapel. In front of him, a few rows, is Dr. Camillo, my GP physician when I was a boy for a short time until 1971. So I was like, I probably saw him when I was 13, 14, that kind of thing. And one day at the old Horton Hospital right up here, a gentleman came in that was a patient of Dr. Camillo's, and he was upset because he found out that he was dying, that he had terminal, I guess, cancer. And his family had asked Dr. Camillo not to reveal that, but he found out. So he came into the hospital, and he wasn't going to kill the doctor, but he was real upset. And at one point, he took out a gun and just started shooting at the walls. He didn't hit anybody. Dr. Camillo came onto the scene and said, "What are you doing, so-and-so? This is a hospital. This is a hospital." And at that point, he just turned around and started running towards the front door. He was done, For some reason, Dr. Camillo decided it would be a good thing to chase after him. And one of the most beloved doctors Middletown has ever had, also a general surgeon and a general practitioner. He turned around as Dr. Camillo chased him and shot him once in the chest. They tried for 2 hours to save him, but they could not. Terrible, terrible thing. Dr. Camillo, my dentist in the 60s, he died kind of old. He was born in like 2025, was it? 2015? I can't remember. So, I walk through that cemetery sometimes and I see all the people I used to know. I see their headstones anyway. We're all dying from the heat down here already, 100 plus all week. Wow. Wow, M. Silva. I talked to my son today, and I guess he told me it was warm, but he didn't tell me it was that warm. He was doing his route for U.S. Foods. Update: MRI showed a small area forming a new tumor where old tumor was. Gamma knife radiation started today. Oh, keep us informed on that. Took them a while to start that gamma knife radiation, huh? Never heard of that before. It seems like you're having your radiation in a sorority house. My brother married a Griffin. That's interesting. Yeah, Dr. Griffin, he had a son named Joey. Didn't really know him. He was sort of special needs, Joey. So I don't know how long he stayed in regular school. Yes, do pray for Chris Starry, as many people here are. The Jack Birch Society is here. It's not as popular as the John Birch Society, but still. Now, what was it about the John Birch Society? They were checking out conspiracies early on, were they? Seems right. I did look them up fairly recently because I was looking to see if there was a story there. John Birch Society. We'll talk a little bit about Don Lemon today, too, by the way. Don Lemon, but we'll deal with Presley first. Mr. Elvis Presley is Wes Day going to play Elvis in the movie again? Who the heck is West Day? I only know what's his name there? Oh, jeez. Austin Butler. I don't know. Did Austin Butler play a role known as West Day? I don't know. Another thing that he did really. Bob Joyce, been alive, coming out. No, there's only one person, Jack, to play Bob Joyce. And that is Goldie Hawn's main man. Who played Elvis 2.5 times so far. Whose name escapes me at the moment, and if that isn't scary, I don't know. Peter Griffin, says Neo, ? Yes, of course, Kurt Russell. Is he going to play Bob Joyce as Elvis coming out in a movie? I'm wondering myself, Jack. He's the perfect choice. He's even kind of wearing his hair like Bob right now, so it makes me suspicious. Overbuilt automotive. I mean, he's got way too much under the hood. But the ladies don't complain. I took ivermectin house. What? I took ivermectin house. You're speaking in a foreign tongue. Works well, whatever that is. Tessie? Overbuilt automotive, built a horse. Lori Travis. Hello. Hello, Lori. Where are you watching us from tonight? We have a new backdrop, first time. New shirt, first time. I'm always looking for those YouTube shirts, you know. Um, New placement of our pictures in the background. Got Karen, which you've seen before. You've seen that shot. She's on both sides of my room divider. Joanne Nitzy is here. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Welcome to you. It's about to happen. It's about to come out. That movie being made. Well, things take time, Jack. You know, you can't rush into a topic that is so complicated. Who knows when it would actually come out if this documentary is to come out. I believe it will. The older generation thinks doctors know everything. Oh, you're a young guy, huh? You're a young whippersnapper? I learned some do, but some going pretty fast. Most are like my fellow techs, not too bright. Put an extra O on that word when we say two, unless you're going to the pack. If you're going to the park, it's TO. If you're going to say the number two, it's TWO. But if it's going to be like a two, like an exclamation two, it's got to have two O's. Can you tell I'm a little tired tonight? I am. It's true. Barbara Kendall, welcome. Hi, Jack. What's going on, Barbara? How did you spend your day today? Beechwood 56789. Was that the Marvelettes? Beechwood 56789, Neil. I went to get some beechwood for my fire pit. You were too cheap to buy a pre-made fire pit. So you're going to have an illegal burn, aren't you? Aren't you? These homemade fire pits, they call them illegal burns around these parts. Around these parts. What's the matter, Joanne? Hi, Jack and everyone. I've been out of commission. Been in hospital now, rehab. Last week was a blur. What happened to you? Lori's in New York, some part of the state. Where she is in relation to me, I'm not sure. I'm sorry to hear that, Joanne. A blur, huh? Were you out of it? Were they giving you strong drugs? Well, Jack, you know, here's another. It's about to come out. I've been hearing that for years, you know. They heard noise up in Graceland. That tells me a lot. Daniel Sadler. Hi, Mr. Jack. Well, hello to you, Mr. Daniel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jack, love the background. It's shapes is what it is. You can't see them all. X's and O's, square and triangle, right? God, I look washed out. I think Karen put too much makeup on my face. But right here over my... Nope. This eye is like a red spot. Oh, dear. Could be from HD, if you know what I mean, Brenda Sweeney. How you doing, Brenda Sweeney? Reminds me of that actress I just saw in that movie I shouldn't have seen. That's on Prime Video. I'd seen it before, but this time I paid a little more attention. It's called The Voyeurs. Have you seen that? Didn't do too well at the box office, but I have a feeling people are watching it on Prime. Well, we'll see if you're a poet or not, Jack. I'm not sure the story won't break, but I don't see it happening too quickly. But then again, yes, something can come out of left field that will change everything, but it won't be what you're thinking because that's, there's production, there's post production, there's release date, it takes a while. Hi, Jack, and everyone. I've been out of commission. I already said that, didn't I? So, how are you actually feeling now, Joanne? How are you feeling now? Hmm. Um, and what's been going on with you, Daniel Sadler? I forget where you're from. Forget where you're from. Yeah, I heard something about a noise upstairs in Graceland. Um, I didn't really explore the story too much. Um, Obviously, Riley knows what's going on there. I don't think Elvis is hanging out at Graceland on a regular basis, but how do we know for sure? I mean, say he were a pastor. He's got 6 days a week to go over there, you know? He works one day a week. I don't get the feeling that there's a lot of, well, there is a Wednesday night Bible study, and often that's with Tom Joyce. So I don't get the feeling that the church is open a lot. And also, Pastor Bob has been at the new sanctuary getting that ready 10 minutes up the road, which is already too small. Jupiter's Realm is here. Hello, Nancy DeMarco. You inspired the title tonight. Boy, those short videos just to play back the audio, which I'm going to do right now. It's hard to queue up, and you always gotta, the every time it plays, it shuts off the audio. I mean, these are the most annoying things, and it's full of inaccuracies. This video, they're saying Elvis faked his death to escape the Memphis Mafia. I don't think so. And then, of course, they're saying that what are they saying? they're well, I'll know it when I hear it. Oh yeah, they're saying that Bob Joyce was at the private funeral, and they show that tall guy again, which is probably from the public memorial, not the private funeral. Hockey 92. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, Hockey 92, 1999 on the thanks button. I appreciate that so much. We're a little behind this month. We are a little behind. So $2, $3, $4, $5 on the thanks button would be very helpful. $1.99 would be okay too. I don't mind at all. Every little bit helps us. Thank you, Hockey 92, for 19.99 on the thanks button. I'll give you the Cash App if you want to use that in a little bit. Nice. Orange is the color. My car is orange, so obviously I like that color. And low key New York. What are you saying, Brenda? So let's go to that. It's already 20 minutes in. Amazing how fast it goes. This one. Now let me see if I can turn on the audio first. Should be on. So I can't cue this. It's just crazy to work with. So we'll hear it twice. Well, here at least one and a half times. It's from Spreecely Secrets. You can find this short on YouTube or on Facebook. I'm sorry, on Facebook. And you'll hear Bob saying, "Okay, I'm Elvis. I don't want to hear any more about it." He has called himself Elvis quickly and in a sermon by accident, but making the definitive statement that I'm Elvis and I don't want to hear but I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't believe happened at all. Um, there would be a lot more to hear about it if he said that. It's like saying, okay, at the end of the service, someone is going to start throwing grenades, but I don't want to hear any more about it. So let's do that.
This has convinced many that he is the king of rock and roll. Some people even saw Bob Joyce appear at Graceland during Christmas, and he attended Elvis's daughter's funeral. People speculate that he lives a simple and ordinary life in his later years. After all, no one can imitate Elvis's musical style quite like Bob Joyce. Bob Joyce is a devout religious man, and it is well known that Elvis became very religious in the final years of his life. At his last concert, all of the songs were gospel songs. Do you think this old pastor is Elvis?
I'm Elvis, but I don't want to hear no more about it from anybody.
That old pastor has finally admitted that he is Elvis Presley. A long time ago, many believed that Bob Joyce was actually Elvis Presley. It is said that Elvis faked his death in 1977 to escape the Memphis Mafia, but no one could provide solid proof until Bob Joyce suddenly appeared. This pastor lives in a small town in Arkansas and shares too many similarities with Elvis, such as wearing the same boots and even owning a guitar just like Elvis's. This has convinced many that he is the king of rock and roll. Some people even saw Bob Joyce appear at Graceland during Christmas, and he attended Elvis's daughter's funeral.
So there you go. He left to escape the Memphis Mafia. Really? That's the first time hearing about it. So these videos that pop up, are often filled with inaccuracies and mixing with truth. I'm not saying that Pastor Bob Joyce wasn't at um, Lisa Marie's funeral, but he wasn't at the public memorial, and I think the footage they're showing indicates that they're confusing the public memorial with the private funeral, which occurred about 6 days later. 6 days later. So there you are. We're back. And again, thank you again, Hockey 92. We were playing AOC with something on Donnie Cho's channel the other day. She was saying all kinds of stuff, all in fun, whatever that is all about. I don't think I'll delve into that topic. Many stuff is bunk on some of the videos. Sounds AI or bad writing, bad research too. Bad research too. So be careful. Nancy DeMarco says it was just what Pastor Bob is supposed to have said in the beginning. Yes, the rest of the video was a mess. Well, if he had really said that, that would be an international story. And it's so easy to take someone who can it's easier to do the Elvis talking voice than it is to sound like him singing, You can get close, but you can usually tell the difference. So if he had made a matter-of-fact statement like that, which would have been quite a while now, it would have changed everything. I like your T-shirt, huh? I'm not wearing a T-shirt. Yeah, this is the latest collection, though. From No Barriers. Took Karen up to Monticello on Mother's Day for, she likes the buffet up there at Wombo. And then on to Walmart. And she bought herself, I bought her a nice pair of shorts and a top to go with it. And I had to get these Walmart shirts because they won't have 3X forever, you know. We don't go up there that often, maybe once a month or so. Hi, Miles Wright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah, yes, someone else was talking to me about Betty Joyce out of nowhere. You may have something there. Yeah, well, that's the idea that, you know, that Bob Joyce is, what is it, Brian? The middle name Brian? I'm trying to remember, who has two sisters and is from so and so and what have you. It's a way to have a story that he's not who many people seem to think he is. That that's his background right there. You know, because we often say that he seemed to materialize in 2011. They're saying no, 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 he didn't. He has a family and what have you. And they got him pegged at like 68 years old now. They got him pegged at like 68 years old. So there you go, Mr. Slim Jiggy. Hello, how are you? Susie Young, Susie Q, I love you. Hello, Jack. Just looking at some of the past thoughts or comments. Paula Weiss is here. Hello, Paula Weiss. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Faith Lloyd. She retracted her message. Brenda's leaving already. People sending prayers to Brenda Noyce. So I don't know anything about the sisters there that are supposedly Bob's sisters. Obviously, it doesn't blend with the idea that he may be 90 years old and may have been a singer that was well known at one time. The story can get more complicated. Sometimes it's human effort making the story more complicated. Sometimes it's human effort. It can be someone who just puts something together and is, you know, an Elvis protector, that kind of thing. But I'm not saying it is. I'm just talking about possibilities. I speak of possibilities. Jupiter's Realm is here. Welcome, Jupiter's Realm. So we have 93 watching right now and 28 likes. You know, some things make more of an impression than others, you know. Someone laying groundwork to explain things that, you know, people wonder about doesn't make it gospel. It doesn't make it gospel. Um, you have to look at each piece of information, you know, you have to look at each piece of information. Thank you, Faith Lloyd. You like the shirt? One of my two new YouTube shirts. You know a YouTube shirt when you see it, you know? You know one when you see it. AI is artificial intelligence. That thing is fun to play with. You can see anyone's voice. You can use anyone's voice, I should say, to say just about anything as long as you have a decent amount of words to start with the to start with. AI will do the rest, you know. Thank you, Marianne Rossi. I think your verdict video says it all. That's quite old now, and it's still getting hits. It's my most popular video, The Verdict. My puppet is on some of my shirts. You had them made. That's right. Neo is a puppet man. He's a puppeteer. And if you have a channel, and I know you do, tell the people the name of the channel. So I know you can't put links here, but tell the people the name of your channel so they can check it out. They can check it out. All right, let me talk about Don Lemon for a while. I was going to do a separate video, then I thought, who cares? How many, 200, 300, maybe. But he is off the charts lately, Don Lemon. What Donald Trump has done is he is exposed who we thought were serious journalists from every network you can think of. Certainly CNN, MSNBC, NPR, ABC, NBC, CBS. I'm talking about the big boys, not the cable. And he's exposed them as being partisan hacks who forgot the 101 journalism rules. And so Don Lemon was so cocky and so arrogant, he got himself kicked off of the communist news network, CNN. And that's not easy to do. You got to be a special kind of obnoxious. But he kept going and thinking he was isolated, and I should say insulated and protected. And they finally had enough of him and threw his butt out of there. So now he's on YouTube, and he's not exactly setting the day on fire. His language has become totally unprofessional for a broadcaster, in my opinion. The idea that, TD Jakes was his pastor. Well, Mr. Lemon now is using God's name in vain and every other word he can think of to make his points, and he just sounds like a teenage rebellious dork. This is a guy who I used to like. I remember when Robin Williams died. I think it was on the weekend, and Don Lemon was on, and he said, "I'm very sorry to tell you that Robin Williams has passed away." This is back when I used to like Don Lemon. I thought that he, had a certain amount of integrity as a journalist. Now he just comes on, and it's all about all they've got, whether it's the meet the fake press or deface the nation. I think that's what Trump uses, right? With that woman with an attitude. She has this promo out. What's her name on Deface the Nation now? She's a hard hitter and she's not going to take BS answers and what have you. She's always being put in her place. Nobody does it better than Vice President J.D. Vance. He's really good at it. They're just full of donkey dust. Their whole content now is tearing apart every single thing President Trump does. No matter what he does, it's like they think their job is to show us how it should be really done, the decisions that should be made. And so everything in the Don Lemon world is a racist act. Remember, as I've said so many times, when somebody is always yelling, racist, 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 the real racist is the one saying it. It's the one saying it. And he doesn't even get 1 million views. Usually, sometimes not even 250,000 views. For someone who used to be so big. He's got a sponsor. I ought to try this, right? It's time for me to get a sponsor. I won't charge them much because I don't have enough subscribers to do it, but I have an audience. Whoa, we have an audience here. Look at them. They're right here. Here's your proof in the pudding. So if you want to be a sponsor of mine, I know Don puts a little thing right up on the screen that shows the sponsor. Um, contact me. I'm not talking about, somebody that has their little home business, but I'm talking about somebody that has a real, international or national business, because we have a national or international audience. I'm not talking about Larry's hot dog stand in Oxford Depot. Hi, Katina Swadsworth. I popped on to say goodnight. Katrisa has routine appointments in Pittsburgh tomorrow. It's 3 hours away. Yeah. I got to travel down to Westchester Friday, but that's not 3 hours away. Thanks, everyone, and God bless. Thank you, Katina Swadsworth. Thank you for dropping by, and thank you for your recent tip. Bright orange one dressed as a Ghostbuster, a Kermit the Frog, a blue one. I call Steve. You can't say he's Kermit and then call him Steve. You just, you're not allowed to have a Kermit. It's your own creation. Okay, he may look like a little bit like Kermit. Don't make him look too much like it. A chef puppet I'm working on, a name for, plus designs for others. Wonderful, wonderful. So what's the name of your YouTube channel? If you are currently putting up content. Jack and Nancy are talking about the Bob Joyce aura. People say he has an aura around him. We don't mean like a new age aura. We mean that he has a radiating sense about him that comes from the Holy Spirit, not the Bhagavad Gita. I felt him come in before I saw him. Like that. Chi-Chi, hi, Jack. Jody Smith, evening, Jack, just off of work. Yes, yes, yes. And you're not allowed to have a Kermit. That's what is my point. You can't say, no, Kermit is the other one. No, you can't have a Kermit. They could sue you. So you have to alter Kermit's appearance so he doesn't look exactly like him, and you can't call him Kermit. Capiche? Jack, Celebrity is having a video on Elvis. I think I've seen them and his brother and Bob on May 16th. And Priscilla wrote in the chat, you don't have to do this. This is Teresa Lee Leonard telling me this. So I suppose I should write that down. What, they got some inside information? Some people feel that they do and they don't. See, there's a thing called being overselling something because you're looking for clicks. You're looking for clicks. Every YouTuber needs clicks, but you got to try to keep your honesty in the process. Oh, Elvis and his brother and Bob. Right away, I'm suspicious. He thinks Jesse is alive. And this is coming up on May 16th. Was that really Priscilla that commented? Do we know that for sure? I'll look into that, see if we get anything. I realize it's not May 16th yet. Does Household of Faith have a youth group? I don't believe so. There's only 25 regular members. And they're all old. They're not ready for a youth pastor yet. They want to have a youth pastor at the new building. I've heard that. But that means they got to get more people in there. And the problem is you're not adding enough seats when 75% of your people are visitors, you know? So, Jack, the title of the video implies guilt by admission. I'm not quite know what you're saying, Jody. Are we talking about the picture from 1958 yet that could be Walina? Are we talking about that? That's not in Germany. So if Elvis did King Creole in 1958, I never really researched the timeline. Then he must have went into the service right after it because he was in the army in 1958. So did he do King Creole and then a short amount of time later um, go to boot camp? Is that what he did? Oh, wait, where is my phone? Did I do have it with me? No, that's my case. I was up here working earlier and left my phone up here because when I got downstairs, I didn't have it unless I was blind, and that can be a possibility. And we'll show that in a pre-recorded video. Debbie Crum is here. Hi, Jack and friends. So what are you talking about, Jody? The title of the live, my live, implies guilt by admission? What do you mean? Well, Tammy, to get youths in, he's got to have a youth pastor for sure. That's a very special job, and Pastor Bob can't take on that role. And they have to have a much bigger sanctuary because right now, as I say, 75% are visitors. So getting a whole bunch of new members in the area would make things worse. Oh, that's fake though, Jody. He didn't say that. If he said that, that would have been an international story. Um, he would never say I'm Elvis, but I don't want to hear any more about it. That's inviting his whole life to be turned upside down. So some clever person just dubbed that in, you know. Um, that wouldn't go unnoticed. That wouldn't go unnoticed. Um, and whether it's omission or what have you, you know, we go back and forth as to you know, isn't this lying, that kind of thing. And we've talked about the various angles of that. And the thing I've always said is that if this is God's way of getting Pastor Bob Joyce in to preach the gospel, what about all the people that have to cover this story? What of all the people that have to be complicit in saying the story, from the people that are in the inner circle to the people that are in the church family, etc., etc. Elvis' brother is going. I don't believe he has a brother. So if you're talking Jesse, you probably believe in the four brothers, or do you? I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just believe Jesse never died. So all of a sudden, it's been out for a little while, this video where Pastor Bob is supposedly saying, okay, I'm Elvis. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He has done too much to keep this contained. You can't say, well, the way I want it is, all right, I'm Elvis, and now you forget about it. You can't say that. You can't say that. You That's a control that even Elvis wouldn't have over people, and people that are not fans but want to cover a big news story. He would have been long out of Benton by now if that were the case. He'd be long out of Benton. So Woodsley Summercraft, if and when this story finally is open and out there, won't that be incredible? Yeah, yeah. 2025, early 2026 could be significant. I'll say that much. I just don't know. Josh is here. Josh L. Hi. Hi, Josh. I think you might have been here before, but I don't remember where you're from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 93 watching right now. Angela Mayer is here. Is Pastor Bob's wife really Elvis's ex-girlfriend? If I answered it the way the first thing that came to my head, I'm not sure Pastor Bob is married. We talk about the two Bob Joyce theory here. Belina married Robert Wayne Joyce in 1975 when Elvis was still very much active. He'd be somewhere around 73 years old right now, not 68, but somewhere around 73 years old. At least I think that's the math. Joanne Nitze from her rehab starts tomorrow. Wish you all the best with that. I was sorry to hear that you had a really bad week last week. Keep us informed, okay? You can always do that in the email, too. But it will be incredible. And welcome, Rob, right? Rob is Woodsley Summercraft. Did Chuck Thompson die? Related to Linda Thompson? Did she marry him after her relationship with Elvis? Refresh my memory. I don't know too much about Chuck Thompson. In fact, I know nothing. Again, go back to the CD released when Pastor Bob was supposedly 38 years old. Well, he wasn't, though. You look at the album cover, and I don't think that Pastor Bob Joyce was recording albums when he was 38 years old. And Woodsley said, no, he was 55. I think both dates are wrong, really, but Chewy Thompson. Chewy passed away, correct? We do have that right. Chewy passed away. We talked about that a few weeks back. Don't tell me that was not true. I don't know. I would love to hear it wasn't true. Let's just see here. There's so much fake news that gets posted, you have to really sort through it. This indicates he's still alive. Well, we were reading about his death. Yeah, dies at 19 from rabies. I remember that. Was that fake or real? Hmm. It says Chewy Thompson is a social media influencer known for his fitness challenges and humorous content. Could be a different Chewy Thompson, that one. Um, but I guess not, because there he is on Instagram on a quest to work out with John Cena. Road to 2 million followers. So what's the real scoop? Is Chewy alive or dead? um, does he look like Presley? Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see here. They're saying here he tragically died. Let's play this one here. I hate that you have to find the freaking volume on all these short things. Sometimes it's on the bottom, sometimes it's on the top. This time it's on the bottom right.
His death. Did you like Chewy? Will Elvis Presley's grandson, Chewy Thompson, recover from his rare case of rabies? Will he ever drink normally again? This has been a question among many people since Chewy was bit by a dog in late 2024, leading to his rare case. Most people would have passed away by now, but Chewy has lasted this long, though it seems to be getting worse. In the 1% that lives, rabies typically lasts up to 6 months if treated properly. So Chewy Thompson does have a 1% chance he will fully recover and be able to drink liquid normally in 6 months. But this would take a rare breed of a person. But he is Elvis's grandson, after all. He has those strong genes in him despite Elvis passing on the toilet in 1977. Even with this illness, Chewy continues to push himself and put out videos every single day. Mad props. So what do you think? Will Chewy Thompson make it through this? Or are things going to get even worse and possibly fatal? Will he get that 1%? Or will the other 99% take over and it will end very sad? You'll never see him on your For You page again. Chewy Thompson was found dead at the same exact place his grandfather Elvis Presley.
He's dead. He's alive. It's all in the same video. That's the mess of these all over the map short videos. You can't rely on them. Hey, James, Bob Joyce knows it's fake. Says James. You mean the acknowledgement that he is Elvis? Of course, Elvis didn't pass. Okay, I tend to agree with you. Linda Billings is here. Research Chewy, and he is not Elvis's grandson. Well, from the research you found, um, and I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm just saying that a topic like Chewy Thompson becomes like walking through a quagmire. You're like in The Shining, and you're trying to get out of the hedges. I can't find a definitive thing on him. Um, Yes, Chewy Thompson, who went by the nickname Chewy. Yeah, Chewy Thompson, who went by the nickname Chewy, has passed away. An Instagram post, well, there's a source, confirms this and indicates he was a beloved pet. Enough. It's just too crazy. It's just too crazy. All right. I have no idea. I don't know. I think Chewy has a certain appeal to it, overbuilt automotive, if you're going to try to be famous, if you want people to remember your name. Travis would be, so overused, it would seem. There's Travis Tritt, and there's more country Travises, aren't there? It's a very country name. It's a good name, but it's kind of taken in a sense. If you're trying to get noticed, you want to do something a little different. Chris Starry would be a good name. So, just because they put the date of a recording on a Bob Joyce CD, I don't know that that's the accurate date. It's very hard to build that case. And if you're building that case, then you're probably building the case that Pastor Bob is not Elvis. Is not Elvis. Darlene Koberstein, hi, Jack and all. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't think they want Chewy in the Trump administration. He would just be, he would be like their Hunter. He would be like Hunter Biden. I don't know if you'd want that. Like their Hunter, but probably a conservative. That would be my guess. So, 95 watching, 50 likes. Yes, please hit the like button, the notification bell if you can. Hit the thanks button for a couple of bucks. That would help tremendously. If you prefer Cash App, my Cash App handle is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. I haven't said this for an hour in. Boy, the hour goes by so fast. MEDIAGUY 56, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. And so we'll show that picture in a future pre-recorded video. Let me just King Creole. See, I was never really an Elvis movie person. And I should remember, okay, it was released on July 2nd, 1958. I should remember that it could have well been done in late 57. If a movie is done in one year but not released to the next year, it gets listed with the year of its release. There have been movies that they held for 15, 20 years. They did it back in the 80s, and it comes out in 2002, and they say it's a 2002 film. That happens. Something motivated them to finally release the picture. Whereas at the time, it didn't seem like the right thing to do. Let's see. King Creole is a 1958 American musical drama and based on the 1952 novel A Stone for Danny Fisher by Harold Robbins. Let's see, a lot of famous people were in there along with Elvis, including Carolyn Jones, that's Morticia, Walter Matthau, you don't get any bigger than that, although he wasn't that big at the time, Dolores Hart, Dean Jagger. I remember what he looked like. Dean Jagger was on a lot of things. Vic Morrow, who died by a helicopter blade. Paul Stewart, and it follows a 19-year-old, that's Presley, who gets messed up with crooks and involved with two women. Presley later indicated that all of the characters that he portrayed throughout his acting career, out of all of them, the role of Danny Fisher in King Creole was his favorite. To make the film, Presley was granted a 60-day deferment from January to March 58 for beginning his military service. Here we go. Location shooting in New Orleans was delayed several times by crowds of fans attracted by the stars, especially Elvis Presley. The film was released on July 2nd. That's fast. To critical and commercial success. Many critics praised Presley's performance, and the film peaked at number 5 on the Variety box office earnings chart. So we solved that problem. He did the film in January, February. In March, he went to boot camp. He went to boot camp because Colonel Parker didn't have a passport. I guess that was the chief reason when you think about it. Overbill Automotive needs a new keyboard. Yeah, supposedly he recorded an album in 1990. I just don't know. I just don't get the feeling those dates are right, but who am I to say? It's not for me to say. So are we on the topic of Bob Joyce? Somewhat. I don't think too many shows go by where we don't mention the pastor. We began the program talking about that video where it sounds like Pastor Bob is saying, okay, I'm Elvis. I believe that's fake. That's fake. Birthday cake for Bob, 85 years old. It's been another age that's been mentioned. We have a picture of a birthday cake when it 88. Have a video that has his 88th birthday cake. But when they do a birthday at the church, they say that his birthday is much younger. And they could be talking about a man who is much younger. That goes back to the two Bob Joyce theory, Robert Wayne and the man who could be 90. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. You're going to have to come up with some more information, Josh L. Because we got a lot of things that we bring forward in terms of reasons Bob Joyce could be Elvis, but will there be information that comes forth? Will there be more attention given to the story that makes you think something different, that you sing a whole different tune? We shall see. Todd Bradshaw is here. Welcome, Todd Bradshaw. Nice to have you aboard. There are so many photos now. It's just wild. Oh, here's a photo I was looking for before. Which kind of shows the age of the pastor, you know? Doesn't look anything like the man who Greg Pritchard saw um, when he went to Bob Joyce's door. Doesn't look anything like him. Who does that man look like there? It's in the eyes. You can see it. You can see it. So I think Bob Joyce might be Elvis. Yes. When Elvis, the tooth gap thing, when he became famous, he of course covered the gap. He had to have nicer looking teeth. And at some point, perhaps Pastor Bob Joyce took that off. Probably had, over the years, he had different covers and he took that off. Todd Bradshaw is the grand poobah and he's from Tennessee. He's from Tennessee. So welcome, Todd. Glad you're here. Lori Travis is talking about Vernon. Well, he certainly looks like Vernon in that picture, but that wasn't Vernon. Vernon doesn't look exactly like Elvis, but from a long shot, like one of the last year Vernon was alive, kneeling at the grave of Elvis Presley, he certainly, you can see how much Bob Joyce looks like him. But their eyes are different. You can easily tell the difference between the two men. Yeah, I'm not really interested in trying to decipher when the first Bob Joyce CD came out. Every week there's new interesting aspects to this story. Some I can talk about and some I can't talk about right now. But I'm not trying to hold anything back from you. I just can't, Todd Bradshaw saying hello to Faith and Teresa Panel. And so just to wrap up what I was saying about Don Lemon, he's despicable. He's just despicable. He's not going to build an audience by being this angry. It's just not a winning message for the midterms either. I mean, you see these clowns in the Senate and in the House. You see Kristi Noem having to deal with the likes of Chris Murphy and a bevy of the female congresswomen. And they're deplorable. They're just deplorable. They try to twist everything. They expect every person who barged into this country. We're not talking about people who came and applied for asylum. They absolutely deserve a hearing. But you can't expect a hearing for everyone who snuck in here. It would take years to complete the process. And in the meantime, if they rape your daughter or your grandchild or kill somebody else that's dear to you, these garbage senators that don't love America, that are more concerned about people who broke the law than the constituents they took an oath to protect and serve, these people need to be purged. They need to be voted out of office. I can't believe that Jasmine Crockett could be reelected again. That would say that there's been some kind of dumbing down of the people in the Houston, Texas area. And there are fine people in Houston, Texas. So I think she will be next to go and she'll scream, racist, 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 just like Corey, what's her name? did as she was finally thrown out, voted out, along with the guy who pulled the fire alarm and then lied about it. The fact that they ever got in just goes to show you, folks, we are dealing with a number, a large segment of especially the younger people that are soulless, godless, and stupid. I don't know what any other way to say it. Um, so we're hoping that we are on a roll here with President Trump, who's been doing deals in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And he's telling Iran, you're not going to become a nuclear power. Well, the time is running out where he's just going to have to take out, we're going to have to take out those nuclear sites and be done with it. Iran doesn't have a lot of friends right now, and they're running out of money. We've warned them. The time for warning is going to come to an end, and it'll be time to take out those nuclear sites, period. Got to get that done. Belinda Taylor is here. Well, thank you, Tammy, for alerting me. I want to go see Pastor Bob with you. Are you guys close together in proximity? Belinda's going back, whereas Tammy Griffin is going to see him in August at the George event. Are you going all 3 days, all 2 days, or just Sunday? What are you doing? Remember, it's not going to be a time for visit time with Pastor Bob. Not if there's 2,000 people there. They talked about him praying with people. Praying with people is not having a conversation. He'd be there for 15 hours if you get 2,000 people, Praying is praying. They're not doing a baptism this year. Belinda Taylor says, I'm going back this weekend to see Pastor Bob again. Please pray for my safe travels. We will, Belinda Taylor. Oh, yes, Elvis would certainly age to look more like his father, Vernon. That happens all the time, I think I look more like my father than I used to. I think I do. He died when he was 67, so I'm not sure. Well, we don't know how long Bob was out of the country when he went to get well. We have one source that said it was a 3-year span, and another source said 3 months. People say different things. We just present the possibilities here. Some people come on, and before you know it, they're gone, and that's all par for the course. I haven't blocked anybody recently. I want to say that. I haven't blocked anybody. Sometimes someone will disagree, not like my response to something, and become offended. And that's going to happen when you have a YouTube channel. It's very important that you be careful in what you do and what you lend your name to and what have you. I had to be honest and say that it's not likely that I will be going to Hot Springs. And to tell you the truth, I would much rather go to the new church and then go on to Texas, when it was a little cooler. Now, I tried to do that last year and it didn't work out. I'm hoping I can make it work out this year. I would really like to do that. Um, but August, hot springs, when you live in New York, and my partner is having surgery, and for at least 3 months, she's not going to be able to lift. And we don't know when she's having the surgery yet. She's not having the CAT scan that's needed to know whether they'll go in from the back or the front to deal with these back shoulder issues she's having. She really wants to go to her 20th. I keep saying 20th. I said that before. Her 50th high school reunion. And then we've got a few important life things in July as well, all, local and affordable. And so really, we have to see what the CAT scan says. That could push the surgery up. So my phone is here. Oh, I see it now. I see it. It was down there on my psychedelic rug. Psychedelic shack. So let's check and see what's going on here. Well, look at that. Todd Bradshaw. Hello, Todd Bradshaw. A Tennessee Titan, if there ever was one. Hit the Cash App for $20. Thank you so much, Todd, for doing that. Thanks for hitting the Cash App. We are behind this month. Last month was good, but we're working really on the third week in June right now. And there's been, those more and more things come out of the blue that makes it very hard to meet all your obligations. One thing being that the Teamsters decided to make their stellar drug coverage that's been in place for probably, I don't know, do I want to say the 1940s, and now it's 2025? I don't know how long, to be honest with you, but it's many decades. They have decided to make it less stellar, and I don't know yet how bad it's going to be, being on two very expensive drugs, Camzyos number 1 and Ozempic number 2. I could do without the Ozempic, but I kind of want to stay on the Camzyos because it's making my heart function properly. And I don't know, it's only been around since 2022. There are no substitutes to it, and there won't be for at least 10 years. So we'll see what the copay is going to be. If it goes from 15 to 600, I'm out, any more than 100 and forget it. So things have been coming at me from left field, and it's becoming clear that there's not enough to go around. There's not enough to go around to do that. When we do things on the side, it is as cheap as we can make it. As cheap as we can make it. Well, thank you, Lisa Davidson. Look at that. You have not been here too long. I don't think you are related to John Davidson, but I don't know for sure. And Lisa hits the thanks button for $20. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that so much. It helps me know that June will be good. I don't think we're gonna do what we did for in April for the month of May. Everything is like a month behind. We're not, that I can see right now. I don't want to. We had a really good month in April because we had a lot to say about the Greg Pritchard visit to Bob Joyce's house. It spawned like a total of 10 videos, and it was very, very good. Those videos are still up. I'm not saying they'll be up forever, but they're up right now. So thank you, Lisa Davidson. I don't even know where you're from. Todd Bradshaw is a Legion. Well, let's hope he doesn't get Legionnaire disease. We don't want to have that happen. Christari, my birthday is in 5 days. You're going to hit the big 4-0 in 5 days, Christari? Are you? Well, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christari. Happy birthday to you. Everybody pray for Christari, who has cancer, new tumor found. We just pray, Lord, for that healing all over her body, Lord. A heat that would come from the top of her head down to the soles of her feet, Lord. We know you're the great miracle worker. I'm a very flawed man praying. She could do a lot better than me, so maybe we got some more righteous saints out there that could pray and intercede for Christari. We just, Lord, ask you as the great physician to heal her, to confound the doctors, and give her a whole new lease on life. We pray for Katrisa, who is always going through challenges. That's Katina Swatsworth's daughter. We pray for Brenda Noyce, who has many health issues, Deborah Lake, and so many here. You know all the needs that are represented here, Lord. I pray for Karen, my partner, Lord. She's in pain every single day. As Dr. Sanjay Gupta says, you can only take gabapentin for so long, and then it starts to become a real problem. And she's been taking it for far too long. So she needs a successful surgery. Praise you and thank you, Lord, that you are full of grace and mercy. Grace and mercy we often don't deserve. I know I don't. So I thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's see here. And look at that, Teresa Panel. I didn't even think my phone was up here. Oh my goodness, look at that. Teresa Panel it's the same people. So I love it when I see new people. I love my regulars, though. I hope it's within your budget. Not everyone is a billionaire like Richard Lyon, you know. I don't think Richard is here tonight. Teresa Panel sent you $10. So thank you. And by the way, send me an advanced email if you don't like me mentioning the amounts, okay? Because I won't do it. If I can just remember, I won't do it. Tammy Griffin sent $15 praying for Karen. Thank you very much. As I say, she's going to have her CAT scan on the 27th. He's not sure. He wants to go in from the front. One of the disc that was put in down at New Jersey Brain and Spine, and this happens, it's not necessarily their fault, but it seems to have slipped a little bit. They want to put in a bigger disc and what have you and see what else they can do. They're going to do some fusing this time. Some people like fusing and some people don't. Some people feel like a nut and some people don't. But if you're in the squad, you should definitely feel, you're not a nut. You're evil. Or you're just an airhead like AOC. I don't think AOC is evil. The other two, evil. Tammy Griffin sent $15 praying for Karen. So thank you. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? That's such a blessing because the other thing that's increasing is our trips to Westchester, you know. I got to go Friday. Well, we just went last week, and before you know it, we'll be going back again. I think she has a wonderful surgeon that's going to do the surgery. Dr. Kynan. He looks like a brainiac. He's a nice man. And you know that Westchester don't hire no bad doctors, you know. So we're very thankful. Todd Bradshaw says for a new microphone. Is my microphone not sounding good, Todd? To go up in quality, I would have to go like this whole combination right here was just like $120. You know, it's not bad. From Australia, I'm very happy. I noticed a lot of the people use the Rode microphones. Like anybody watch Orange County Choppers back in the day with Paul uh, Sr. and Paul Jr. Tuttle? That came from right up the road here in Montgomery, New York. And then they moved to Newburgh, New York. And now I think the son still maintains a shop here. Paul Jr. Designs, and Paul Sr. is in Clearwater, Florida. I would love to live in Clearwater, Florida part of the year, not this part of the year, but I would say I would get down there about December, and I would stay there until about into April, about halfway into April. Well, I'd have to come back to get my taxes done from Anna. She's my tax woman, you know. She deals with everything. She deals with my tips on Cash App and the thanks button and just the Google money in general and what have you. She's very good. So thank you very, very much. That is very, very nice. Thank you, Tammy, Teresa, and Todd Bradshaw. The Cash App is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56. So back to the live stream. If I missed your comments here or in a pre-recorded video, you probably noticed that I really try hard to answer people, take the time. I sometimes miss it. If you put it in an old video, I won't see it because I'm up to 516 videos. Every once in a while, I'll pop in an old video, certainly like The Verdict, and I'll try to answer some people that may have commented a few weeks ago. But it's now impossible to see them all unless I just stay in this room night and day. Jerry Bridges is back. Oh, look at that. I thought Jerry had I want to say transitioned. Amen for all the needed prayers. Well, that's a good word, Jerry Bridges. I haven't gotten to say this in a while. Not Todd Bridges, not Bo Bridges, not Father Lloyd Bridges. And which one did I leave out? Jeff Bridges, the most popular of them all, the biggest star in the Bridges family. I think even bigger than Lloyd was, is Jeff Bridges. Yes. Oh, I thought you said you were going to get a new mic. Sounds good. I was thinking about a new camera, which is a little cheaper, you know, a new 4G camera. So that's, I think we need that. So far, the mic sounds okay, I think, right? Now, there was a viewer here that said they were going to send me a mic, but then switched it to something else and sent me something else. Which is not as so easy for me to use because I have a hard line coming in here. So something that works off of Bluetooth, I have to think, well, how will I use this? You know. But thank you, Todd. I think it's the camera we're looking at. I got to wait just a little further into the month because I'm waiting for that YouTube money right now, you know. And other than that, as I say, you Bridges of Madison County. Oh yes, that was a good movie, wasn't it? I enjoyed that very much. It's been a long time though, Todd. But I've been naughty this week, Todd. I watched The Voyeurs on Prime Video with what's her name? Sweeney is her last name, right? Oh, very good cast. Very good cast. But you know what happens is they move into this apartment, and there's a tall apartment across the way, and they don't seem to have any shades. I guess they couldn't afford it. Maybe they need that Cash App, Todd. I don't know. So you know, they find themselves getting there are newlyweds, for goodness sakes. I mean, I guess they're wedded. I'm not sure. And before you know it, they're obsessed. They're obsessed. Jack, I'll see Bob Joyce soon. Well, okay, just behave yourself when you go. Don't try to ask him any questions. Don't do that. It's not cool. But isn't that so nice of you guys? I appreciate that. And I certainly appreciate. Well, look at that. One of our mini crashes. We get it back so fast, I don't think we lose a lot of people, which makes me very happy. I thought since they upgraded the Spectrum equipment, including what's right outside my window, that maybe that would eliminate this. But once again, I was mistaken. Hey, Sue A. Um, she's talking to Tammy. It's nice that people have relationships. Well, look who is here. World traveler, Miss Susan Carter. I always wanted to do what you're going to do, Susan, I must admit. So at some point, pick me up in New York and I'll go out for a couple of weeks. Karen would not be wanting to do that. She would not want. I mean, I love it myself. Um, I don't think I want the pickup truck with the travel trailer. I want a small, all-in-one unit. Small, but it's got the essentials, and so 50% of the time I'll stay in a motel room. I don't have to be an expensive one. I'm happy at the Motel 6. They leave the light on for me. I notice that every time. They leave the light on for me. I haven't stayed in one in quite some time, but if you're going to go down to Orlando, they got a beautiful 4 or 5 floor Motel 6 right across from Old Town, which I guess is still there, in Kissimmee, Florida, which is right up the road from Disney World, Universal, et cetera, et cetera. I would highly recommend it, and I haven't stayed there since the 90s. Oh, dear. You had a fusion in 2011, says Tammy Griffin. It was good until the last year. Now it's caused my spine to curve bad enough that I'm losing my balance. This is what one of the things Karen has to be careful of. She loses her balance, and these medications like gabapentin don't help. See the pain doc in a couple of weeks to talk surgery. Okay. Usually you will see a surgeon to talk surgery. I see. That's the first step. You're going to need an MRI to get them to approve a surgery. The MRI's got to back that up. It won't be just a CT scan. Of course, with these CT scans, they say 5% of the people get cancer from these things eventually. And Lord knows I've had mine. Camera. Yeah, that's what I want to get, Todd. I want us to be clear as a bell. I want you to be able to see the freckles on my forehead. Yes, that sounds pretty good. I would love another mic, though. I was excited because this one person said they had a mic they didn't use, and I saw it, and I thought, oh well, that would certainly be nice. But I think that the person who was saying this has mic talent themselves and should keep it and do their own videos. Don't give away something that you need. Don't give away. The guy downstairs just today bought a new mic. So I'm going downstairs and I'm hearing him on the phone saying, I bought this mic and it's not working. Is so-and-so there? Is so-and this one there? He always thinks everything in his life is an emergency, and he can instantly talk to God himself if he needs to. And I mean audibly. But he went out to the place where he bought it. I don't know if he got a new mic or what have you. So I was doing some pre-recording, and fortunately he stopped. I thought, man, this guy is going to be shouting into this new mic that he bought. But there's a difference between the mic a singer would use and a talker would use. I want something that is really geared for broadcasting voice, not singing voice. Tammy is a legend for giving. Well, I like that. She is a frequent giver, and I thank you very much. Although I think we're talking about two different Tammys. I'm getting confused here, and you might be talking about, yeah, a whole different subject. Let's see here. And of course, we've still been watching Dark Shadows. That seems to be a part of our lifestyle now until we can't watch it anymore. I can't explain it, but somehow that has become my most favorite TV show of all times. And you would have to watch the episodes and go through them, starting with episode 210. Don't watch the beginning at first. You won't get it. You'll be bored. You'll only appreciate the first episodes, the first 209, if you start with 210, which is the first Barnabas the Vampire. And you'll see some great acting. You'll see some of the most beautiful women, our Dark Shadows beauties, who are now in their 80s. And we're going to see some of them on July 19th. And we don't want to miss this. We never thought we would see these people. It's a life experience to see Nancy Barrett, who's going to turn 84 this year. We have seen Catherine Lee Scott 3 times and going to see her again if all works out. And Mr. David Hennessy, who was born the same year as me, 1956, but he is yet to turn 69. He will turn 69 in October. And he's very rich. So many of the people I went to school with and what have you are rich, and it never happened for me because I guess self-fulfilling prophecy played a role, lack of pursuit. It's not like we never tried to start a family business, folks. In my first marriage, we had video memories. We would show up and tape your wedding, but we were like a discount, a wedding service. We weren't going to edit and everything. We were just going to show up and shoot the wedding because, as you know, I have no tech skills and my wife didn't either. So we were just the plain wrapper. We'll show up. We can put your name on the beginning of the video. We knew how to do that. But we will give you an unedited video, and it'll be half the price of what you would pay somebody else. So since I was a radio disc jockey at the time, they said, well, we really can't give you a raise this time. Yeah, right. So I said, how about 8 spots a month for video memories? And they said, all right, we'll do that. So I was the only videotaping service. My wife, Mary, and I were the only videotaping service on the radio, and that we got gigs out of that. I did the commercials, of course. Those were the days, my friend. I thought they'd never end, but they ended with my stupid decisions down the road. Dark Shadows is great, Jack. Well, I'm beginning to like you now, Josh L. If you're talking about the original series, 1966 to 1971, I have nothing against what Johnny Depp did, or the reboot in 1991 with Ben from Chariots of Fire. Ben. He's passed away now. Ben, can't get it. I can't get it. He was a great Barnabas. He was great, but they couldn't equal the rest. Some of the other choices, like the Willie Loomis choice. Nothing against the actor. He was fine, but Willie Loomis was a good-looking blonde guy who had a certain Willie Loomis appeal. We love Willie Loomis so much. Our cat is named Willie Loomis, okay? The late, great John Carlin, who went on to win an Emmy playing the sheriff on Cagney and Lacey. So, he was just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Todd, are we having donuts tonight? Are we going to have warm donuts? I can't be eating this stuff, I've been staying away from it. Like I went to get my Camzyos at CVS tonight because I was out of pills. I used the last one last night. I had to go in, pouring cats and dogs. And, some of those dogs are heavy, and if they land on your head, they can knock you right over. You don't want a Doberman Pinscher landing on your head, but it was raining cats and dogs. And but I had to go in to the CVS, and I passed by the candy aisle, and I saw the Hershey's Kisses, but with the almond. Hershey's Kisses, but with almond. One bag $6.99, the other bag half price. Sometimes it's $1, the second bag. And I just had to say, "You're on Ozempic, you're losing weight, you don't wanna blow this. Yes, you want those little Hershey's Kisses with almonds so bad, so much, but you're just gonna walk right out of this store without them." And I did. You know how long I've had since I've had Tres Leche? From Jackie's Latin Kitchen, the milk cake. Oh, with the whipped cream with the cinnamon on top and a walnut. Oh, it's so good. I know it's full of calories, so I'm staying away. I had my Atkins shake. Well, I can't really say this morning because I had to take some of, there are things I had to do before I came down besides my shower or pre-shower, and because I had a project to do. Can't say any more about it, but um, I really wanted those Hershey's Kisses with the almond pieces in them. I wanted them so bad. So you really like Dark Shadows? You mean, if you're really a Dark Shadows fans, you watch it now on Prime or Tubi or something like that. I mean, if you were a little kid and you ran home to see it, that's great. But rediscover it and you'll fall in love with it in a much deeper way. So we watched 2, 3 episodes, and it's weird. I've seen some pretty big celebrities when I lived in Hollywood for a year. I talked to a few of them too. Had a conversation with Isaac Hayes. I didn't talk to Lucille Ball, but I did see her. Um, Talked to a few actors that were I met in a laundromat. You go into a laundromat, and there's somebody that you watched on Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman, if anybody remembers that show. And he was very nice. He saw me come in. He saw the look of recognition in my face, and so he knew what was coming next. It wasn't long before I said, "I watched you on Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman." He said, "Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun, but putting that on your job resume, it can be hard to get another job. But I got a new show. It's on NBC. I'm the lead actor, and it starts in September. I hope you watch it." And I said, I guarantee I will watch it." And I did. He was a real nice man, and I wish I could call his name now. He's passed on, I believe. But you go in there, and they're doing the laundry is a guy from Mary Hartman. Ben Cross, yes. Wasn't he good? He was a very fine Barnabas. I couldn't say anything but good stuff about him. And so sorry at his passing. He said it was a thrill, even though Dark Shadows on the reboot only lasted a year. It was during the time of Desert Storm, and they kept getting preempted and what have you. And people just couldn't follow it because one week it was on, the next week it was off, and what have you, with war coverage back when the networks would do more war coverage than they would do now. You love the blueberries? That together, blueberries too, eating cottage cheese and sliced peaches. And Jody says she loves the blueberries. Yeah, Karen bought a whole bunch of blueberries. She made blueberry pancakes, but again, I can't be eating that stuff. I had half of one pancake. That's what I had. The Ozempic makes it easier for me to push the plate back, but then wasted food happens, or we give it to the raccoons, whether it be Roxy or the cross-eyed one or whatever. We're feeding a number of feral cats and what have you, and Karen always ignores my yeah, who's the actor? It was called something country. I don't know how to look him up because I don't have enough information on him. But when he was in Mary Hartman, look up the actors that played the gay couple on Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. He was the tall one with the dark hair. The actors who played the gay couple on Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. There weren't a lot of that back then, so it was kind of groundbreaking. And this guy seemed very straight, so he was just doing a good job. Well, they weren't flamboyant; they were a very manly gay couple. Something county or country he played on NBC. I love Mary Hartman, by the way. That's where we met Martin Mull for the first time, on Mary Hartman. God rest his soul. They're all dying. That's where we met the late, great Fred Willard for the first time, I think, on Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Okay, the one guy who played his lover was Lawrence Haddon. He died at 90 years old. In 2013. We talked about him. He said he's plugging away, but he's not being as successful as the other guy was. So they give me the wrong guy. Let me see here. There's a picture of him. Come on, what was his name? Don't keep sending me to somewhere else. I have no time to watch a video, obviously, so that's not going to do it. I see a picture of him. Tess loved Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Josh is getting sleepy. I'm not giving up. Why are they making this hard for me? Oh, yes. I should remember the name because it was so unusual of a name. Bison Carroll. Bison Carroll. That was the guy I met in the laundromat. We had a nice conversation. He couldn't have been nicer to me, more down to earth. Bison Carroll. Now let's look him up. Because he was a working actor. Now that I see the name, I remember it. He was born in 1934. He died in 2018. So he lived a pretty good long life. Handsome man. Does he have a wick? Wikidata? Wikidata, not Wikipedia. That's weird. Let's see his IMDb. Born in New York City. Isn't that funny? I met him in California, of course. Yeah, doesn't give me the information I'm looking for there. Bison Carroll, is who I met in the laundry, who starred in like a kind of a country western thing on NBC well after Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Yeah, there you got it, Tessie. B-Son Carroll, and Ed was played by Lawrence Haddon. Ed and Howard were a gay couple in the show. In one episode, they even shared a kiss. Groundbreaking back then, right? Groundbreaking. Susie A. now is talking about having breakfast at Hojo's. Been a long time since I've been to a Hojo's. Hello, Bob 1974. What's going on? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome to you. If I miss anybody coming on, it's not intentionally. All of my videos are pre-recorded, none are live. That's fine. Not everybody does live, even people that can do live because they have enough subscribers to get on live. My neck is plated as well, says Christari. I have same issues as Karen. I know her pain. I too am on gabapentin and oxycodone. Surgery at a later date as well. Depends on cancer as to when. Yeah. What's going on with you, Miss Carter? There's a Thomas Hayden Church. It's just funny, you see people, they come into your life and they make an impression in your life, including B-Son Carroll, and you hear that they've been dead for 7 years, and you realize that could happen to you someday. Oh, dear. I mean, here we have Cousin Brucey on WABC Saturday night still. On the weekends, they do music radio, and Cousin Brucey is on from 6 to 10 p.m., 87, be 88 years old this September. And most of the people that were on music radio WABC are dead. I can't think of one right now that's alive. I'm thinking of the list, and I can't think. Harry Harrison is gone. Ron Lundy is gone. Dan Ingram is gone. Chuck Leonard is gone. Jay Reynolds is gone. They're all gone, but not Cousin Brucey. So he said to somebody that I think at the time he was talking to maybe James Darren, who's now gone. He said, "Did you ever think we'd be doing it this long? Did you ever think we'd be doing it this long?" So we have 78 watching, 63 likes right now. My personal email is jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Jack the F-A-I-R guy @gmail.com. Sue A is off to sleep. Eyes shutting. I understand that. But yeah, Mary Hartman was great. Innovative back in the day. Martin Mull, which that led for Martin Mull and Fred Willard, that led to a spinoff, a fake talk show called Fernwood Tonight. Fernwood Tonight, because Mary Hartman lived in Fernwood, and that's where I began to see the genius of Fred Willard. So living in California in 1979, I went into a discount movie theater. 3 movies, regular movies, not porn movies now. 3 movies. I knew where that theater was. No, 3 movies for $3, $4, something like that. I don't know. And I went to get myself something to eat at the candy stand, and standing there was Fred Willard, who would go on to do all those funny movies with people I should be able to rattle off their names. Eugene Levy would be one of them. I had an autograph book that I carried around because you never knew who you were going to meet. And I said, "I'd like to get your autograph, Fred, if you don't mind." I said, "Because my name is Willard as well." I wondered if they ever ask you if you're related to Jess Willard, the wrestler from the 50s or whatever. He said, yeah, I get that all the time. I get that all the time. He was very nice. He's very nice. And I think he was alone. So that was cool. You never know who you would see when you lived in California. But eventually you get tired of the parade. You get tired of the fair. Time to leave the carnival and go back to real America, like where Todd Bradshaw lives, who's about to get some midnight donuts. Midnight donuts. So yeah, later this month, I'm going to be able to announce that we have purchased the new camera and it's on the way. On the way. Soap was kind of like a Mary Hartman, where we first saw Billy Crystal and so many great actors. And loved it as well. Don't remember much about it right now. I remember Billy had a puppet, didn't he? And he was a gay character as well. And trying to remember each actor's name. I know one of the leads in Soap went on to be the dad in the Christy McNichol series, Empty Nest. I was a big Christy fan, so I definitely watched that. And who played the was he a general? He kind of had Alzheimer's, lost his mind or whatever, and he always thought that they were being invaded. He was in full uniform, marching around the house. He was a lot of fun, as were many of the others in Soap. So there you go. Oh boy. Got a few dishes to do downstairs, and I am hungry. Carrie made a nice chicken and rice dish. I had some of that. But you do get those yearnings, and they're not in the house, so I don't have to worry. If they're not in the house, you can't get to them. If they're in the house, I'm probably going to get to them. It's just the way it is. Colossians chapter 3, beginning with verse 15, NIV. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body, you were called to peace. And be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom, and as you sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with gratitude in your hearts to God. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Colossians, part of chapter 3. Empty Nest spun off the Golden Girls. I don't believe so, Neon. I don't remember anybody in Empty Nest that was on the Golden Girls that I can think of. Even if one of the actresses were, I don't remember that as a spinoff. But hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That was pretty much it for Christy after that. She was manic depressive, and she was, thank you, Tess. She was manic depressive, and I think that she would have been capable of more with medication, but she kind of started teaching acting and things like that and didn't do much after Empty Nest, which was a real loss because she's an incredible talent who lives in Sherman Oaks, California. Sherman Oaks. There's a woman who has a Christy McNichol fan group on Facebook that seems quite obsessed. Yeah. Good night, Jack and gang. Thank you, Brenda Sweeney. Thank you, Teresa Lee Leonard and Tessie. And everybody else like Neo, Teresa Lee, and Tammy, the two Tammys, and Todd Bradshaw, who may be on the Midnight Donut Run already, and Teresa Panel, and Hockey 92.7 FM. Thank you for hitting the thanks button. I really, really appreciate that. Whether it's $19, $20 or $1.99, it all helps. Trust me, it all helps. And I'm just scrolling back here. There's Lisa Davidson for $20. Thank you so much, Lisa Davidson. Never found out where you were from. You probably told me before, but it takes a while for me to remember. Jack, you get very personal interaction. I'm just seeing this, Nancy DeMarco, at the church itself. I'm hoping you can get there. Oh, absolutely. I'm hoping so, too. We shall see when Karen is feeling better and what have you. See, Karen wouldn't do the Texas trip with me because that's when I see my son. It's not fun traveling alone in a car from New York to Arkansas and then Texas. I can tell you that. It's always better when you have a buddy, at least, someone that can go with you. So, thanks for watching Worldwide Ramblings for this Wednesday. We'll do another round, God willing, on Saturday at 10 p.m. East Coast time, but we could pop on to pop off at any time. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell in case we pop on or put up a pre-recorded video. My personal email is jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy @gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. Big God bless you. Have a wonderful Thursday. I'll keep you posted on everything that's going on. Bye-bye for now.